Do you want to know everything about SEO tips for beginners? How to rank your site fast? Then stick around till the end of today's conversation. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Keyword Show. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous if you were to ask me. And if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about search engine optimization, and I'm giving here 15 SEO tips for beginners, and I'm going to tell you how to rank your site fast, how to do it from now on. Number 1, claim and complete your Google My Business profile. This is very important. Before you start researching keywords or writing title tags, you want to start with Google My Business. It's very important. This is a free public profile that appears in relevant search results on Google. So you've probably seen this before. You've seen Google My Business profiles when researching a brand or restaurants, searching for a place to chill, to go on vacation, or finding directions to a specific location. So the great thing here is that claiming or creating your Google My Business listing allows you to provide Google as well as users, because that's really the ultimate goal here, with immediate information about your company. It is very quick, folks. It is very quick and easy to claim your account. So you want to make this one of your first SEO to-dos. So once you have ownership of your profile, all you have to do is just optimize it. You can add the following info: so name, address, phone number, operating hours, your website URL, and if you have relevant categories like restaurants or movie theater or hotel, you can have a brief description of what your company does and what it's unique, and put photos. Very important. Okay. Second thing, you want to target something called long tail keywords versus short tail keywords. So keywords are kind of critical when it comes to search engine optimization. So if you want people to find your website, if you want people if you want your content to rank in search results, you need to find the relevant keywords. You need to determine the search intent of users searching those keywords. And most importantly, you got to incorporate them into your meta tags and content. So before researching keywords, it's critical to review the difference between what I call long tail and short tail. So for instance, long tail keywords. A long tail keyword is 3 to 4 words, like how to roll sushi, right? It's long tail. And short tail keywords is 1 to 2 words. So it's like sushi rolls. So if you're starting SEO for a website, you want to focus your keyword research on the long tail keywords, because this kind of keywords has less competition than a short tail keywords, which makes ranking your content easier. Next, you want to really start paying attention to what I call the search intent. So there are 3 different search intents. You have navigational, informational, and transactional, the NIT model. So in addition to long tail and short tail, you want to think about the NIT model. So navigational, a person wants to go to a specific website like Nike or Facebook or Twitter. That's navigational. They're just browsing. Then you have informational. So the person wants information about a topic, like how to roll sushi, or how to knit, or how to start a website, or how to start an online store, rather. Informational. Then you have transactional. So the person wants to buy a product like a sushi roller, or wants to book a vacation to Acapulco. So it is really important that you understand these 3 types of intent, because they will influence which keywords you target. So let me give you an example. If you have a service or product page, for example, you want to target a transactional keyword, while a blog post should target an informational keyword. So if you search potential keywords on Google before writing your content and optimizing your pages, you can determine the search intent by the results. Next thing is you want to research relevant keywords with the right tools. Now, when it comes to tools, you have a gazillion tools on the internet. You have the paid ones and you have the free ones. And you have Google autocomplete. That one is free. In other words, you start typing some keywords in the Google search bar, and you see exactly what kind of search phrases people have looked for in the past. You can have keyword tool. Keyword tool is free, but sometimes they charge you for it. You have keyword FX, answer the public. So you have a lot of free options as an SEO beginner. You just have to go on the internet and just type free SEO tools. So what you want to do is you want to experiment and see which one you like best. As your search engine optimization initiatives broaden, you may think about investing really in a paid tool like keyword tool. It's very important. You may even decide to invest in an SEO toolkit so you have the whole 9 yards. For example, Ahrefs or HubSpot. And those platforms, those toolkits, they offer tools for keyword research, competitor research, backlink analysis, and more. Next, what you want to do is you want to choose what I call core and related keywords for every page. So you want to use primary and secondary keywords for every page. So when you start optimizing your website, you begin by researching core keywords for your pages. And if you use, for example, Google as your keyword research tool, you can look at the search engine's searches related to the keyword feature. And this appears always at the bottom of search results to find similar keywords. Or you may use the autocomplete feature to discover other keywords. So remember that you can enter those keywords into Google Keyword Planner to get the following data: search volume, competition, bids. That's kind of important because that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on there. So once you have a list of relevant keywords, you can begin optimizing your content. So for the best experience though, you want to create a Google sheet and list your pages as well as their core and related keywords. So this sheet can then serve as a helpful resource for you and your team. Next thing you want to do is you want to optimize your title tags and make them interesting, make them catchy, make them spicy. Your title tag is like that first meeting with someone new. It's the first impression. You're trying to make a great impression. So that impression also will drive the future interaction that the visitor will have with your website. It will determine whether someone will click on your page or someone else's, which is why informative, optimized, and catchy titles are a must. What do I mean by that? An informative title must summarize what your page is about, and without clickbait language, not at all. And an optimized page uses your core keyword and is 55 characters or less. Folks, 55 characters or less. And a catchy or spicy title gets readers excited and curious about what your page is about. So you keep in mind that your title tag appears in search results, not on your page. So if you want, for example, let's say if you want, you can create a different on-page title via your H1 tag for your content. So one thing I want to talk about before I move on here is that make sure that your title tag and H1 coordinate with one another. Because if users click on your site but then arrive on a page with a title that seems too distant from your title tag, they will bounce back to the search results. So that action from Google's perspective makes it seem like your content is not relevant to the user, which can lead to lower rankings. I'll be right back, but after this, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I hope you are doing fantastic. We're doing marvelous. And if you love the content's clarity and quality so far, please consider subscribing to our channel. And you want to turn on the notification bell so you are aware whenever we drop a new show. The next thing you want to do when it comes to search engine optimization is to start thinking about creating informative and optimized meta description. Your meta descriptions should be optimized. So if you probably heard about meta description, and those are the data that appear below title tags in search results and how they don't serve as a ranking factor, unlike title tags. That doesn't mean you should exclude meta descriptions from your SEO strategy. You should not. So you want to include your keywords and even ancillary related keywords in your meta descriptions because of users. Because think about it, if somebody searches for a keyword that appears in your meta description, Google will bold that keyword. For users, this can make your page seem more relevant, which can result in a click, because at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for, right? Clicks. So even if you write a meta description that summarizes your content and matches meta description character limits, which are 150 characters, Google, the algorithm, may still decide to rewrite your content's meta description. You also want to use keywords in headings and paragraphs. Again, folks, the idea here is I'm not telling you to do keyword stuffing. Search engine optimization must strike the right balance between keywords and relevance. So you want to insert keywords in your headings and content. Now, Google would love not to rely on keywords, but they are critical components when it comes to ranking pages and websites. And the thing here is that your content, besides your title tags and meta descriptions, should use your keyword. And when I'm talking about keywords here, I'm talking about the keywords in the headings like H1, H2, H3, and so on. Paragraphs, lists, tables, and so on. Those are the two places where you have to put your primary keywords and your secondary keywords, right? And the thing here is that depending on your related keywords, you can also use the headings to target those keywords. One thing that's very important, and we talk about SEO as a science, as an art, but remember, at the end of the day, you need to think about the end user, and this is the human being. So you want to write for humans first, then search engines, not the other way around. Because if people are not interested in your content, Google is not going to rank it. So you want to think about the audience, their needs, their preferences. You want to think about what they're looking for, what they're looking to find, solve, or learn with your content. Then consider how you can make learning, understanding, or resolving the problem even easier with your content structure, page design, or multimedia. This is kind of important. So let's say you are in an industry where you know your users need video. They need video tutorial. They'll learn better through a video tutorial. You're not going to write a blog. You might recap, you might summarize the video in a blog article, but you're not going to write a long blog of 2,000 pages about the subject, because you know your audience is accustomed to seeing video tutorials or photos. So it's all about your audience. It's very important. So you want to put your audience first and your optimization second to get the most value from search engine optimization. Remember though, writing for your audience also is important, because it's through SEO that you hope to earn revenue, whether it is through affiliate marketing or sponsorship or other deals, or even Google Ads. You want to be able to write to the people. Next thing you want to do is you want to optimize content for featured snippets. Now, featured snippets appear in 50% of search results, so you want to optimize your content for them. As a quick refresher, featured snippets appear at the top of select search results in what's called position 0. So this position places you above every other page, which can help your site earn more clicks and traffic. So when you research your core and related keywords, make sure that you check if the search results include a featured snippet. Make a note if they do. That way you can remember to optimize your content for that featured snippets. One of the things very important also is that you want to start claiming right now feature snippets for your websites with a few SEO beginner tips. So answer featured snippets with tables, lists, or 40 to 84 word paragraphs. Expand lists to 8 plus items if useful to readers to encourage clicks. Create tables with 3+ rows if useful to readers to drive clicks. Write dedicated headings for answering features snippets, like is social healthy, for example, in the example that I was giving you from our friends at WebFX, right? So keep in mind that your content will likely need to rank on page 1 to become the featured snippets. One thing you also need to think about here is backlinking. So you need to go ahead and link to other sites. So links are a critical part of search engine optimization. They are one of Google's core ranking factors, by the way. So the emphasis on links, however, can make new SEOs hesitant about linking to outside content or sites. So for Google, one thing you have to understand is that for Google, internal and external linking is a sign of a healthy and genuine website. In other words, The algorithm is relying on other websites to vouch for the validity, to vouch for the I would say the quality of your website. So you want to feel comfortable linking to websites besides your own when writing informational content for your audience. Use links to back up and enhance your content, like by sharing a statistic, study, guide, or another supporting piece of content. Remember that when linking to outside sites, you want to choose reputable, high-quality websites, because sending your readers to a site that looks shady or is shady can hurt their opinion of your brand. So, and this can also make Google's algorithm wonder about the trustworthiness of your sites in the first place. So you want to keep your reader or viewer and your brand safe by only linking to websites that you would feel comfortable sending your grandmother or your grandpa to visit. Another way when it comes to enhancing your search engine optimization, another tactic you can implement today is to start developing longer content. I'm talking about long form content, not just short form. And this is something that is backed by numerous studies that show that longer content, usually called a long form, as I said before, this kind of content performs better than short form content when it comes to rankings as well as social shares. That's why your SEO strategy should consider and probably include long form content. Long form content is really not just about words. So if you are writing, this will be 1,200 words or more, and short form content is 500 to 800 words. But the same applies for a video. So if you have a video, you want to rank the video on page 1 of YouTube or Google, you want to go for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. It's not about boring the viewer or the listener, but it's about developing. It's about being comprehensive. It's about elaborating. So with long form content, you can provide users with a complete guide to a topic. Keep in mind though that long form content tends to outperform short form content, even though that's not always the case. In some cases, the shorter content will rank at the top of the search results. That's why before you writing your content, you should always look at the search engine results pages, the SERPs. Remember, write for your audience first and then for SEO. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are also having a comprehensive look at search engine optimization for starters. And I just want to say that one thing you also want to pay attention to is including keywords in URLs. Make sure that you keep URLs short. So URLs, it's helpful to have a short, descriptive, and organized URL. So this kind of URL provides web crawlers with more context when it comes to your content and site architecture. And the great thing here is that it also helps users and visitors understand where they are on your website. So one thing you have to think about when you go create a website is, especially when it comes to URLs, you want to include your core keyword. You want to keep your URL to 5 words or less, if possible. You want to use hyphens to separate words, lowercase your URL, and avoid apostrophes and hashtags. Next, you want to establish a site structure. Now. But before I talked about that, I just want to say that, remember, site structure is also called information architecture. This is how you structure and organize your websites. For example, what pages feature on your site's navigation? How do you organize different site content like blogs, products, or resources? And how does all your content relate to one another? So it's a lot to think about, but you know what? It's kind of critical to search engine optimization. So you need to start brainstorming how you will structure your site or revise its structure with some of the tips I'm going to give you now. You want to determine your website's hierarchy. So I'm talking about the organization, right? Think of your website's content as a family tree. Which content should be on top, and what is the primary content, and what are the ancillary, what are the secondary pieces of content. So if your homepage is the parent, for example, it will have several children, like products, about, or blog, and those children may have children like products, product slash social rollers. If we're taking the example, the early example. So you want to compile your header and footer pages. So a website header and footer can help users as well as search engines navigate your website. So you want to decide which pages or page links to include on those two elements. In most cases, this will be your most valuable pages or site sections. And you also want to design your pages with breadcrumb menus. Now, a breadcrumb menu makes it easier for users to explore your site. Plus, a breadcrumb menu can serve as structured data, which can enhance your site's look in search results. So you want to work with your designers to include breadcrumb menus on pages. So while your site structure will require, like, let's say, collaboration with your design and development team, it is a critical part of SEO, even for starters. That's why you want to think about it now. I'm talking here about site structure, and you want to incorporate it into your SEO strategy. Last but not the least, if you've done all of these things, you need to link your site to Google Search Console. This is important. Google Search Console, when you think about it, it is a must-have tool for any search engine optimizations toolkit. So this free platform from Google provides you with instant insight into your site's performance in Google search results. It also helps you see how Google views your site. In addition, you can discover actionable ways to improve your website's SEO. So let me give you a few things you can search for. You can check in the Google Search Console. You can check page impressions and clicks from different queries, crawl errors, mobile-friendly issues. This is an important element here because Google is switching to mobile first, what they call their mobile first approach. So they're giving more prominence in the search results to websites that are mobile friendly. So you need to optimize your mobile website. Actually, in Google Search Console, you can also check for rich results markup, page indexing, page rankings, page speed ratings, and a lot more. You can also submit your URLs or entire websites in Google Search Console. So one thing I want to say here is that with all the features and insight that Google Search Console provides, every search engine optimization strategy should use it. So you want to set up Google Search Console for your website by going to the Google website and searching for Google Search Console. It's not a complicated process. It just it's one of those things you need to do. All right, folks. So we're actually at the end of today's conversation, and I just want to quickly recap here. I was just talking to you giving you a few beginner tips to expand your SEO, your search engine optimization. And I said you need to claim and complete your Google My Business profile. You need to target long tail keywords versus short tail keywords. You need to understand the 3 different search intents: navigational, informational, and transactional. Research relevant keywords with the right tools. Choose core and related keywords for every page. You want to optimize your title tags and make them catchy. You also want to create informative and optimized meta description. Use keywords in headings and paragraphs. You also want to write for human first, then search engines. Optimize content for featured snippets. Link to other sites. Develop longer content. Include keywords in URLs, but you want to keep the URLs short. Establish a site structure now. Link your site to Google Search Console. Thank you so much for your attention to today's conversation. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.